Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mith.Trust versus DK. This is part of the Prodota2 broadcast. I am Luminous from Dotacom. How are y'all doing this morning? And when I say morning, it's probably not morning time for you guys, but it's morning time for you. You know what's the best thing about morning time? Waking up, pouring yourself a hot cup of milk, get yourself a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Eat a healthy breakfast. This is what I'm trying to advocate here, but what's pretty bad about the morning is trying to cast a Dota game when your energy level isn't sufficient. Now, I'm not sure if you guys watch my other morning broadcasts. Generally, energy level is severely lacking, but feeling a little bit pretty good here today. And Mith.Trust is one of my favorite Southern East Asian teams to watch. Unfortunately, I just don't have many chances of watching them. They play heroes that not many other teams play, and I generally get very excited about it. Bad Rider. No other team pick Bat Rider with a high frequency. Let me say that. Some teams pick it once in a while, once in a blue moon. Mith.Trust, though, they love to run that Bat Rider. Lane is solo, give him a protected lane, and just farm a blink. And that's when the magic happens. You go all over the map, gank, roam, push, whatever you might need that Bat Rider to do, it will do it for you. It probably doesn't cook you breakfast, but everything else, it does for you. Darkster Enchantress is going to be the opening ban here for Mith.Trust. They do have the first pick and ban. DK on the other side, it's going to be Lycanthrope and Chaos Knight. Two of these heroes, of course, been dominating very much so. Now, Chaos Knight has still yet to kind of convince me that it's a OP hero. OP hero in the sense of it's a Lycanthrope, it's a Darkseer, it's a Chen. Some teams have picked them, some teams have won with them, some teams have lost with them. We still don't see teams just dominating with, if you give them a CK, they have an 80% win rate. That's kind of the correlation I'm looking for. Now, obviously, it's still a very, very strong hero, I understand that. But until that sense of dominancy it's available, I'm not going to, I'm going to withhold my opinion on that. Because in the past, we've seen heroes when they first come out, people just snap pick them up, snap ban them. And to be honest, the hero isn't that good, or at least not worth the first initial bans. Remember the good old days when Invoker first came out? Snap first pick, snap first bans. Guess what? Invoker, he's still picked up here and there, but a lot of times, second pick, third pick, sometimes even kind of ignored throughout the end of the draft. Remember Panda? When he came out, snap pick, snap ban. Now, kind of somewhere in the middle of drafts. Again, sometimes not pick at all. So, I feel like a lot of these are trendy kind of situation. Again, not to say CK isn't a really strong hero, but he's got to stand the test of time, like Prophet has been. Nightstalker Prophet's going to be the opening pick here for Mith.Trust, and it really fits Mith.Trust's playstyle. They like to apply pressure, and not just pressure in one instance of the map. They like to apply pressures everywhere. And of course, Nightstalker Prophet is very good for that. Invoker and Queen of Pain being the first and second pick here for DK. Both these heroes comprise one of the strongest and most annoying laning spell. I'm talking about the Cold Snap from the Invoker, of course, Shadow Strike from the Queen of Pain. An annoying aspect about these spells is not only does it deal an absurd amount of damage, Cold Snap works a little bit differently, but follow me here. Not only those spells deal an absurd amount of damage, they either prevent you to fight back or they prevent you from running away, thus dealing more damage overall. It's just really annoying for the other side to lane against. Queen of Pain has a very high survivability spell called Blink, and that's going to put her out of harm's way. That's going to allow her to grab runes if she's going to go in the mid lane. Invoker, because Quas gives you 3 HP regen per second, usually outlasts a lot of other heroes in terms of physical harass. So both these heroes, whoever is going to be going mid, who is going to be going on the side lanes here, it's going to generally have a good advantage if it's a 1v1 situation. Not many other heroes could beat these heroes in a straight 1v1 fight. So it's going to be up to Mith.Trust to first pick good heroes who lane against these guys. 2, perhaps put 2 heroes against these guys and try to shut down their laning. Now, I talked about the strength of Queen of Pain and Invoker on the lane. They're very, very strong on the mid game as well. Queen of Pain, in my humble opinion, one of the strongest team fight heroes, strongest roaming ganker kind of, whether it's going to be a small scale engagement or a large scale engagement, she does so much in a team fight, especially those middle game team fights where it happens in the jungle, happens, throughout a lot of trees. One of the more underrated aspects of Queen of Pain, her most spammable spell, is the fact that it does hit through fog, it hits through trees, even if you don't have vision, it hits through invisible heroes. So a lot of times in mid-game team fights, low HP support heroes survive, and they try to juke away well, Queen of Pain, not only does she have the blink to follow up, you're never going to really juke her because, again, her Scream of Pain followed through you even though she doesn't see you. Pretty broken, if I may say. On the other side here, we do see Nightstalker and Puck being picked up here in succession. I really like these two counter picks. First of all, it gives you great silence. Silence is exactly what you need against these casting heavy heroes like the Queen of Pain and the Invoker. And of course, Nightstalker, very, very quick, will be able to keep up with the Wex Invoker if necessary. Of course, even able to keep up with Blink. The Void is a very, very strong spell, a lot of damage output. And of course, at nighttime, he is just a terror. He not only kills hero, but he's a great tower pusher. Again, when I say Nightstalker is a great tower pusher, not because, he has some AoE spells that could mow down the creep wave, not because he could summon units and attack the tower, but because he could run past and scare just about everybody away. When a Nightstalker runs at you during nighttime, you just run. Or you could try to run, is what I'm trying to say, and then he probably kills you. So a pretty strong hero, and again, a very strong counter to these casting heavy lineup here. Puck's going to be adding another silence. Now, Puck, generally not seen anymore in the pro scene. Back a while ago, he was kind of picked as the de facto side lane of choice, and he still holds the side lane pretty decently, but he gets outlaned by a lot of heroes. Broodmother comes to mind. Broodmother, by the way, is still within the pool, and one of these teams could pick him up. Windrunner kind of just outlanes him with better nuking, better attack animation, better damage, things of that nature. But Puck, again, one of these few heroes that are ranged give you a very, very reliable silence. Once you pick up the Blink Dagger on the Puck, you could kind of set up easy kills on heroes like Invoker, on Queen of Pain, with Dream Coil, Raining Rift, and of course Illusion Orb. Give you so much more mobility. You're going to be getting the Blink Dagger. Kind of a Fairy Dragon Ninja. I know it says Fairy Dragon, but I think the sub role, I think it's one of his side jobs. It's a Fairy Dragon, and then it's also a ninja, because you could juke a whole bunch of spells with it. Even juking the Queen of Pain's ultimate, as well as Sonic Wave. Scream of Pain. Sonic Wave is her ultimate. In any case, Shadow Demon is going to be the pickup here for DK. Now, Shadow Demon's going to have two roles here. First of all, defensively disruption. Silence on the Queen of Pain generally means she's pretty much dead. But you could disrupt her, and not only does disruption pull her out for 2.5 seconds, it also removes that silence buff or debuff, and then she could just blink away. So for any silences you might got here on the other side, Shadow Demons got disruption to protect the allies. Now the very important thing here is that Shadow Demons got to stay back. A lot of Shadow Demons, they think they're playing a lot of a very, very strong hero, and obviously he is a hugely strong hero. They're like, man, I'm playing the Shadow Demon. I can do whatever I want, run, and they just run up to the front line of that engagement, and that's when bad things really happen. Shadow Demon, if you're playing defensively, stay back. Again, whenever a teammate gets silenced, we'll pull them out. Now, obviously, on the flip side of the situation, if you're leading the gank, if you want to set up a heavy engagement by initiating for your team, that's when you charge them forward, use that disruption, pull them out for 2.5, land that soul catcher. When they come out, use that demonic purge on them, and just set up all over for your Queen of Pain and Invoker. And of course, that's the beauty of this hero. If you're playing well, if your team is doing well, you could go very offensive with that disruption. If you're not playing that well, if your team's having a little bit of trouble, you go defensive. So a very well versatile hero, and that's why a lot of pro teams do love this. Now, a very important interaction with Demonic Purge as well as the Nightstalker. Nightstalker, as quickly as he is at the nighttime, runs very fast, do a lot of damage, attacks very quickly. Shadow Demon Disruption and of course, Demonic Purge I'm mentioning, doesn't care. I don't care if you even have BKB or not. You have a haste rate, I'll purge that off too. It's a very intense spell against melee heroes, and Nightstalker, sometimes we forget he's melee because he's so fast. But yeah, he's melee, and you could definitely purge. And that's going to be one of the kind of key outs that DK will have to gank or run away from this Nightstalker. Second round of ban coming here, you can see Mith.Trust a little bit worried about the carry role. Morphling and Dragonite being banned. Now, Dragonite for DK. DK for DK? Anyone? Now, actually, DK's been using DK, the hero, for quite a bit. They really like the fact that he's a very, very tanky hero. He could add a lot AoE in the mid-game. He could add a lot of team fight, of course, with the level 16 Dragon. But he's not shabby early on as well because of the level 1 Elder Dragon form. He could push down a couple of towers fairly quickly. Now, not as quickly as Diabolic Edict from Leshrac, not as quickly as, of course, the Prophet with summons, Enigma with summons, but he pushed decently for a carry. And same thing with Morphling. With the Ring of Aquila, with Mantis out of that nature, he'll just push down your towers quite quickly. This is a very indicative way of Mith.Trust of how they play during the mid game. During the mid game, they love to set up 3-man smoke ganks, 4-man smoke ganks, and try to go pick off stray heroes. Guess what kind of strategy is good against that? It's really really dangerous for Mith.Trust to go off and set up that smoke gank. If there's a carry just harassing your tower, harassing your tower, harassing your tower, you gotta send a couple guys to defend the tower, and then you go with a smoke gank. So there's a lot of time that are wasted for Mith.Trust if they have to deal with these carry heroes, and they really can't get off their ganking game. Now, of course, one of the most annoying hero against that strategy is still in the pool, and I'm talking about the Broodmother. Broodmother, of course, could stand in the lane all day. It's going to be difficult to gank her, but I don't think Broodmother will be picked up, considering that we do see Panda on DK. So currently, we already have a lot of farm on DK, and adding a Broodmother on that is going to be a recipe for disaster. On the other side here, we see Clinkz, which is a very burst DPS carry kind of hero. I say carry in big quotation marks because he's not really a carry. In late game situation, if he ever goes head to head, he gets generally out nuked, out DPS. He's very frail, even with Death Pack. But he's one of the best ganking semi-carry there is, because his first item of choice, the core item of choice, will be a Orchid of Malevolence. And Orchid of Malevolence gives you mana regeneration, attack speed, damage, and a very key silence. Like I said earlier, I talked about the Puck silence being important, the Nightstalker silence being important. Clinkz picking up that Orchid will be again to aid with silent, the Queen of Pain Invoker, now the Brewmaster as well, because you don't want Brewmaster to run off that ultimate. Whenever Brewmaster pops that off that ultimate, it feels like you're fighting against 6 heroes instead of 5, because it does so much. It sends someone up in the air with a 6-second cyclone, it boulder bash someone with 2-second stun, and of course it has a lot of DPS in that Fire Panda. So it's just a really annoying thing to deal with. So of course having as much silence as possible is a good way to go. Now, the Vengeful Spirit last pick here might be a little bit confusing. It lacks AoE. I mean, the stun is nice, but the range is really short. But I feel like this is a very defensive pickup here for DK. Again, what is the best way to deal with silence? Pull them out of harm's way. Guess what Vengeful Spirit does? Defensive swap, put them out of harm's way. I really love the support of DK, if I may say. They could play offensively, they could play defensively. I talked about the power of disruption. If you're playing, if you're behind, just stay back and defensively disrupt, and you should be fine. Same thing with the Vengeful Spirit. If you're having a rough game, stay back. Defensive swap if someone gets silenced. If you're having a good game, well, by all means, charge ahead, get a swap in, get a quick hex and quick stun, and go for the kill. So, very versatile support. Now, with that said, DK's Vengeful Spirit needs to get some level. Level 6 Vengeful Spirit allow you to access to that swap I'm talking about. Unfortunately, you really need level 11 to be truly effective with that swap. So we'll see where the DK will give Lone DD a little bit more farming room in the mid game. Lone DD is going to be playing the Vengeful Spirit as a support, of course. Zippo, also on the other support, going to be handling the Shadow Demon. Queen of Pain being handled by ROTK. Most likely going to be going on the bot lane, but we'll have to see. No, Burning is going to be going to bot lane here with the Brewmaster. And I think this is going to be a tri-lane Panda. Don't see that every day, but it's going to be very interesting to watch. We have Yeru, or Super, playing the Exhort Invoker, already starting with a lot of stats and a lot of regenerative. So I do think this is going to be a Exhort Quas build. Going to give him the quick access into those 2 Forge Spirit, use them for early game DPS, pressuring towers, and whatever else. On the other side of the map, Mith.Trust, they got LK. Lakel's going to be on the bot with the Clinkz. Of course, Orchid Rush is what he wants to do. On the middle here, we have Labat playing the Nightstalker, diving hero that I mentioned earlier. We have Puck handling on the top lane here by TNK. Yellow, who's still in base, he's going to be jungling it up. I think this is a new player I have not seen recently, THA. And then we have the Shaker player, one of their best Shaker players, R5, handling the Shaker on the mid, providing a little bit of defensive disruption. Now, as we see a little bit of engagement, that's just I was like, why is Pink all the way over there? Does he have a Death Wish? No, just using the illusion to block a camp. That's very nicely done. That means it's going to slow down jungling of this Prophet. Just by a tad, not really by a lot. Now, on this spot lane here, of course, Clinkz does have Skeletal Walk, but he has revealed the fact he doesn't have it right now. So if DK really wants to make it go for him right now, they can. He doesn't have his best survivability spell, and even if he does, do we have some Sentry Wards? Yes, we do. So there's definitely enough lockdown here, the disruption into magic missile into collab. So you definitely go for a kill on the Clinkz. But Clinkz right now staying well far back and making sure he doesn't get initiated upon. On the middle here, it's going to be a Nightstalker versus Invoker. I will give the advantage to the Invoker. I think perhaps what DK was waiting for is for Invoker to hit level 2 for the Sunstrike. Perhaps waiting for Zippo to hit level 2 for the Soul Catcher. I mean, these level 2 increase their damage output by so much. Now, Sunstrike is a global spell. It does pure damage. And again, if you have sufficient lockdown, it does so much damage. Here comes Shaker. Lone DD, you gotta wake up. Whew, he's gotta be very careful. Because a Shaker Fidget Block could just mean the death of a support hero this early stage in the game. Now, despite facing up against a Tri-Lane, I mean, Clinkz is getting some decent EXP. He's not getting any last hits, which is a little bit awkward to see considering that he is indeed, got plus 20 damage, right, for the last hit. But, you're up against 3 heroes, so it's fine. Meanwhile, the Burning, he is lasting and denying like a fiend. 9 and 9 is his CS, and there we go. We're going to see the initiation. Sentry Ward gets dropped down, Magic Missile clap, every spell in the book on top of him, and the coordination of DK is just simply too strong. And that's exactly what I mean. If you're just slightly out of position, you will get picked up. Zippo initiated with that disruption, pulled him out, Sunstrike came in, Sentry Ward gets dropped down. I'm not too sure whether they even needed a Sentry Ward, hey, but better be safe than sorry. You get the Sentry just for those Clinkz skills, right? So might as well use it. Prophet's going to trying to grab the rune. He is not going to grab it. And Lone DD with the haste will be roaming around very menacingly. Drops the Sentry Ward, trying to find some wards uphill, but unfortunately, he's going to be running into a couple of heroes. Prophet in position right now. Any Fidget Blocks? Nope, they're not going to waste any mana. Considering that Vengeful Spirit with the haste will just outrun just about anybody. TNK on the top lane here, having a little bit of rough time. Nice dodge here with the phase. But like I mentioned, I believe, to be honest, ROTK's Queen of Pain outlaned just about anybody. Shadow Strike at level 2 is just such an annoying spell, but interesting to see him not leveling up. A lot of European players opt to get the second point just due for even more harass. It's not really the best skill in the game in terms of how it scales, but it just provides you so much laning harassment. Now, if I might guess, one of the reasons that he's not getting that second level Shadow Strike against Puck is exactly what we've been seeing on the lane. You could actually dodge that projectile nuke coming your way. What is going to be a Screen of Pain or a Shadow Strike, with great timing, TNK could phase it, and like exactly what we saw there. Instead of phasing a physical attack, you could phase the spells coming his way. And basically, Queen of Pain would just pour 80 mana or 130 mana into a spell that literally did nothing. Against most other lanes here, you can see Queen of Pain will actually level up and provide a lot of harass. Couple heroes going on the mid lane here. Do we have any slow? There's a Cold Snap. We have a Disruption, Sunstrike, Magic Missile, Soul Catcher. Jesus, this guy generally is a very tank, but you're eating 5, 6, 7 nukes. That is, yeah, you gotta be a lot tankier than that. And right now, again, DK showing off their coordination. Generally, when you have spells like Sunstrike, when you have Disruption, a lot of times, more amateur teams, more, non-practice team will just mess up those combos. DK showing that they have the coordination, they have the teamwork, and they're getting the necessary kills. So 1 kill against the Mist solo, very important to pick up. 1 kill against the enemy semi-carry, and it seems like Shaker is going to be the hero of choice. Disruption. We're going to have a Sunstrike coming in very soon. Do we? No, we don't. We're going to have focus. They don't even need a Sunstrike. These guys are just getting picked off. And I'm not really going to fault Mith.Trust here. Right now, DK playing extremely well. More importantly, they have sight. They have sight everywhere. They see the Shaker. And Shaker, unfortunately, didn't have a ward up in this vision area, so they didn't really see where the hell the team is coming in. And, well, when you don't see the Shadow Demon and Vengeful Spirit coming at you, generally that's a recipe for disaster. Lakel's, playing rather stay away, don't really want, again, Zippo and Vengeful Spirit, really good roaming party. I believe they had a smoke of the seat. Perhaps they just actually smoked from mid to bot, and now I don't see the smoke anymore. So, of course, these two supports will be picking up boots of speed right now. You thought these pair was scary? Well, they're going to be even scarier when they get the mobility. This is the time when they are picking up boots of speed, when Clinkz doesn't have his boots, when Shaker definitely doesn't have his boots. And because there's a lot more mobile than any supports, they could just walk up and get the disruption off if he really wants to do so. Now, I don't think he will, considering that he doesn't have the necessary backup and the support from the Vengeful Spirit. The 6-minute rune will be spawning in just a bit, and good supports generally go make sure they do grab the rune. On the top lane here, we had a teleportation, and we just set up a kill against the Queen of Pain. Of course, silence was in use. Oh, Sunstrike, it's gonna grab the kill. Puck thought he was safe. Unfortunately, the ever watchful eye of Super will be on you, and well, Big Brother struck again with that Sunstrike. We had Invis being picked up here by the Vengeful Spirit. He's roaming on the mid lane. And let me tell you, they definitely will be able to kill one hero if Shaker is not quick about that fissure. So we'll see whether R5 is. And now Shaker, one of the best defensive hero early on. Not only does it provide a long range AoE stun, it also really blocks off people. So if they want to chase and tower dive, very dangerous against a hero like the Nightstalker. It looks like we're gonna have Poison using it to be Scout Disruption. They're gonna make it go. Soul Catcher, Sunstrike, and a lot of damage against that Shaker. Shaker will be going down, but will Yeru go down? Yes, Super has one down, 1-for-1 trade so far. And I gotta just say, trading a Shaker for a Invoker, not the best trade, especially if it's during nighttime. Labatt coming in position. Do we have Dream Coil? Nothing just yet. Zippo will be going down. He tried a self-disrupt, was not enough. And will Labatt trace for more? I don't think he will. He's completely out of mana. And that was a pretty good TP here for the puck. They completely pinged. They realized there was invisible revenge. I think he just barely picked into tower range and got soon after picked off. So well played here by Mith.Trust. They need to get something going because right now it's not a good start. You gotta keep in mind that the Nightstalker died early on, the Clinkz died early on, and they really are just a mid-game squad, so they gotta make sure they don't die too often. It is nighttime, so it's important for them to set up a couple more ganks. Currently, we see a 1,500 gold lead, and this is just purely off hero kills as well as farm. No tower pushdown. Generally, tower will comprise a big bulk of gold difference, but right now, it is all kills, all farm, and that doesn't really favor you if you're Mith.Trust, obviously. Queen of Pain is going to be trying to get the 8-minute rune. As you can see, one of these things that pro players always not forget to do is make sure they check the runes. You can see that the Shaker is checking bot, Queen of Pain is checking top. Really good teams generally would send 2 players for it and to check it. As we see, Shaker drops off a stun and then picks up the rune to regen all that mana. Yeah, really good teams generally set 1 player on the top and then 1 player on the bottom to make sure they grab every single rune every single time. As we see Dream Coil against ROTK. ROTK blinks out of range. Unfortunately, the Nightstalker during nighttime. Didn't I say this earlier? You could try to run. You could even try to blink away, but Nightstalker is just so damn fast. He hasn't even maxed his Hunter at Night. Hunter at Night makes you attack and move a lot quicker. He has the treads. I really love treads on Nightstalker. Now, phase boot is a consideration as well, especially with the phase ability. Allow you to, as we see Disruption being used, dust, and we're going to have a clap. Look at the, oh my goodness. Not sure whether that ultimate was actually necessary. In fact, that ultimate has a very, very long cooldown. A little bit trigger happy. As our Panda player, he's gonna just run in and do some minuscule amount of damage in that tower. Kind of a misuse of that Panda, and he's gonna put him in just about no mana. But again, the important things, they got the kill against Clinkz. Like I mentioned earlier, Clinkz would love to rush that Orchid of Malevolence. It's a pretty heavy price item, but the good thing about the item is it's split up in multiple parts, so you could buy the small parts first. As we see yet another gank, the same ganking party. Of course, Void Silence being casted on him, another Silence if necessary. So they just have more than enough ways to kill that Queen of Pain. Now, this is a strategical choice by Mith.Trust. So many times they're ganking this Queen of Pain, but that also means their team is not getting the necessary support. LNK, is he going to get Magic Missile? The question is, do we have Sentry Wars? Yes, we do. Sunstrike, gonna get dodged, but the physical DPS should be enough. Yo, no, he ran just out of the Sentry War range. So close, and he is going to survive. Ooh. And you can see the difference between hitting that Sunstrike with just a second and then missing it. Meanwhile, great fissure block, trapping off the escape path of Zippo, and that's going to give them kills. So far, this game is 6-6, despite having the strong start here on DK, on the earliest outside of the game. You can see Nightstalker, once he turned nighttime, 2 ganks on the top lane here, 1 gank in the jungle, 1 gank in the mid. He's just a very intense hero. 3, 1, and 2 is the score. Now, a lot of times, if you ever want to know if a Nightstalker is well played or not, just look at how many kills his team has and how many kills he's been involved in. He's been involved in 5 out of the 6 kills that his team has. That's a well played Nightstalker, if I may say so. ROTK, despite being ganked out 3 times now, he died to I think a Shaker gank, no, a Prophet gank with the help of Puck early on. Still trucking on this top lane, making sure she doesn't fall too behind in terms of farm. Right now, because of 3 ganks, only got 41 CS, which is not the best, But hey, you know, she's level 8, so she's going to be nuking very much so. Back in the mid lane here, we have DK Year Roots only got 52 for Exhort Invoker. That's fairly low, but hey, he's got ganked a couple of times. He's been involved in a lot of fight as well. 3, 1, and 2. Again, 5 out of 6. Now, it's slightly less impressive for Exhort Invoker to be such involved in terms of the kill and assist department because of his Sunstrike as a global spell. Every time you see the gank coming, he's actually there, even though he's not there. So, not as impressive, but still showing off the fact that he is definitely paying attention and coordinating well with his team. You can see that Burning on the bot lane, playing a little bit more defensive because he doesn't really have the ward in the jungle to see what is coming, and because he was so trigger happy with his ultimate, well, he doesn't have one of his best survival spells, so he's actually playing a slice there. The reason I'm chuckling a little bit is I never see Burning make these slight mistakes. He's generally very good in terms of ultimate control, micro, and everything else, but when he used the ultimate like that, I was like, what? Kind of funny indeed. On the top lane, we seem to be setting up a big gank against these guys, and I do believe, yes, Zippo, he has realized something's up, and you can see that they are moving into defensive postures, and of course Zippo will be staying far back and disrupting ROTK should he need the help to do so. Both teams, yeah, playing a little bit defensive, and I think this is a correct thing for DK to play defensive, because guess what, you don't want to take a fight against Nightstalker, during nighttime. Also, it's going to be somewhat difficult to go on the Radiant during nighttime as well. First of all, Nightstalker is going to be very tanky. Second of all, he would have a teleport scroll and teleport to the necessary towers and do a very quick counter ganks. You know the enemy heroes have very ninja heroes like the Ninja Puck. You know that they're a great defensive hero like the Shaker. We are going to have a Smoke of the Sea being used, and they want to set up a gank. Unfortunately, can they do it? Nighttime just ended, but they do have darkness though. Darkness will turn the night on right now, and Super in big trouble. Vengeful Spirit, does he have the defensive wall? Not level 6 just yet. The Sprout is going to be on top. Magic Missile is going to hit on the Shaker. Sunstrike, defensive disruption. Ultimate being used here by the Panda, and it's going to come right in. Dream Coil, though, does hit just about everyone. Super comes in. He's going to try to go for the Courier. Super salves up. He should be fine. Nightstalker gets a kill. He does have the double damage. Do we have he's trying to get the cold snap, but the damage output of a double damage simply too much. He grabs the double damage. Meanwhile, Burning assassinate a couple of heroes. He got the Nature's Prophet as well. Are they going to keep chasing Puck on one end of the map? And of course, we have the Nightstalker on the other end of the map. Here comes the Shaker. Shaker stun misses. It hits Zippo, but it's not going to do too much. Clap is going to get phased. The second clap comes in though, and I do believe TNK, look at that, 2 crits in a row. Burning, very lucky with those crits, but hey, that's why you pick them up early. That's exactly what's used for. And Burning picking up a couple kills. He's already got the face. He's got the drums. I really love the drums build on Burning. One of the problems with most strength heroes is that they don't have enough mana. And drums, not only does it give you the necessary mobility, it gives you a lot of mana to work with as well. Looks like TNK wants to set up some kills. They want to get Burning. Burning gets sprouted, fissured. Nice block off here so far. But the 4-staff outward from Super. Well done here. Drum's going to get used by Burning, and look at how quickly they are moving on the border of about 400 movement speed. And that's what drums put you. When everyone else is just 350 and you're at 400 MS, well, you outrun them. And again, like I stressed multiple parts in this commentary, mobility is the thing. Nightstalker is a mobile hero. Puck is a mobile hero. The Clinkz, the Nature's Prophet. If you don't keep up in terms of mobility with the enemy team, you're going to get picked off. The goal difference chart is weighing back and forth. You can see that the start was fairly strong by DK, but a strong follow back here by the Mith.Trust squad. And the game is very, very even at this point. And check out how we're doing in terms of the levels. The levels are a lot better here. 40 Radiant squad, and that's a little surprising, considering that you see Shaker a lot of times just, hanging out by themselves. I guess something could be said that Nightstalker and Puck has been setting up a lot of 2-man ganks, and 2-man ganks give you a lot more EXP than 3-man ganks. We saw DK, Long DD, of course Zippo. They've been setting 3-man ganks with either the Invoker or the Panda, sometimes even 4-man ganks. And sure, even though the kill counts are relatively even, the experience graph, the experience chart don't favor them because the way they have been ganking. 3-man versus 2-man. A little bit of mechanics tip for you guys out there. Item-wise, though, that is going to have a good indication of how this game is going. You can see that Nature's Prophet, man, Radiant is just a team silence. They are just setting up every silence item, every silence spell available. Nature's Prophet generally go for things like either a Midas or a Mechanism or a 4-staff or even a Hex Rush. Skipping all of that, it's going to be going for an Orchid, Another silence on the team to work with. Clinkz, of course, is going to be going for Orchid, although he's having a really rough time. Meanwhile, Shaker in big trouble. The Purge, the Magic Missile, every stun and book, and looks like we have a teleportation comes in. The Force Spirit gets summoned. Defensive Disruption on himself. Blinking, oh, huge miss here. Not hitting the Prophet. Prophet will go down from the right click. Meanwhile, TNK gets a silence off against ROTK. ROTK very mobile right now and will blink out. Super, a lot of DPS output. Unfortunately, surrounded by 2 heroes. Can he pour it out? He has a Force Staff. He's going to Force Staff onto the low ground. Should be fine momentarily. Puck giving up chase, and here comes Nightstalker during nighttime. There's a void again. Good luck running from the Nightstalker. You may have to force that, but he has legs. He has wings, so right? He's moving very, very quickly. Mith.Trust, despite being initiated upon picking up lagging kills because they are just quicker, they are faster, they nuke harder. DK taking a good chance to trying to destroy the tier 1 on the top lane. Burning will be lasting that tower. So he is going to be going for a Blink Dagger, I might imagine. Yep, he's going to have to go right now for it if he wants to do so. Unfortunately, Blink Dagger generally means it's just going to be an initiating item. And just, it's only going to be an initiation item. Because you're generally not going to be able to blink away. Now with that said, all really Panda needs to do is initiate. Because he blinks in, he claps, even drop off a Drunken Haze if he feel like he has enough time. Most likely he won't because there's so many silences on the enemy side. He's going to blink in, clap, and then drop off his ultimate. And once he is in his ultimate form, well, he doesn't care about silence. They're like, yeah, you can silence all you want. I got 3 Panda. I have like 80 spells on them in total. And I will just, you know, own your face. That's kind of what that Panda does. It's, you know, your own your face button. DK trying to power down this mid tower. They know they can because they have the Blink ultimate being used. Purge being used against Nightstalker. Look at the Sunshine. Look at the coordination. From full HP down to 0 in the span of like 3 seconds. Puck says like, oh shoot, not going to fight this. Uh-oh, he's Cyclone in the air. Disruption, blood the Blink out here by TNK. And nice dodge on the Boulder Bash as well. For every stun, every initiation Panda has, Puck says, I got one more Dream Coil use just for 1 Clinkz. He wants a Vengeful Spirit. The silence is simply too much. Do they have detection? No, they don't. Man, these guys are just Team Ninja, but he is seen right now. Do we have the spells to lock him down? We don't. Looks like when teleportation comes out, Blink in, Disruption, and looks like another Sunstrike to follow up. Ooh, Prophet dies, man. The burst damage of DK, really, really insane right now. Scored 13-12 with DK leading by 1 kill. Clinkz, he's seeing right now, but I don't think they have the detection, and he's moving so quickly. Do we have gems? We saw Dust being used earlier, and Dust does have a 1-minute cooldown. So you definitely need 2 or 3 Dust on different heroes to make sure that you could keep a hero revealed, or Sentry Wards would be very decent. Gotta keep in mind that Puck doesn't have the Dream Coil, but a double damage. Nightstalker, do we have the defensive disruption? Nothing just yet here. Zippo waiting for the last moment. Perhaps they're gonna focus on the Nightstalker. You said despite the nighttime, he's so slow after Purge. Queen of Pain blinks in for a kill. Queen of Pain, woo, in big trouble. He's juking. He's gonna go down right now. Chase happening on the other side here. We do have Clinkz being picked off. Man, despite how mobile the Radiant lineup is, again, Nightstalker, Puck, Prophet, they still get picked off. Nice dodge on the Magic Missile Fissure, really slowing down this push, but the physical DPS of this team is simply too much. Glyph of Fortification gets used, Blink and a clap, scaring just about everybody away. Force Staff and a Blink backwards here from the Puck. Whew. The dodge, so much dodge. Zippo lasted the tower. They do have Urn of Shadow, excuse me, so they will be able to heal up just about everybody. Despite there's so many kills going on, this Urn is constantly at 0 charges, and generally that's a sign that they, this is a well-used Urn, well-played Vengeful Spirit. A lot of times when I play public games, I see, you know, Crystal Maiden, Vengeful Spirit, they're like, oh yeah, I see pros get Urn, so why don't I get Urn myself? You know, give you passive mana regeneration, it gives you +6 strength, which is, you know, extra 100 HP or so, pretty good. But then at the mid game, I see them, they have like 23 Urn charges, and I just think to myself, what? Always use your Urn. Always use your Urn. The only time that you shouldn't use your Urn is when you only have 1 charge left, and you want to use that Urn a little bit offensively. Use it as a damage over time as well. But yeah, Lone DD, a little bit more worried about keeping his team alive. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Blink, clap. Are they gonna... Oh, no. We're gonna see a Soul Catcher, Purge. Unfortunately, Zippo, defensive disruption. This is exactly what I mean. You could use it offensively. You could use it defensively. Now, eventually, he did die, and Lone DD will die as well. Cyclone against the Puck. Nice sprout here. Will they pick off against the Prophet? Prophet The nuke is simply too strong. He will get brought down, and you can see the LNK staying around for a little bit too long. TNK can't even move Sonic Wave just to make sure they get the kill. Blink clap here. I think the blink, it was a clap into blink, not the other way around. But again, the Dire not too bad in terms of mobility. They pop the drums, and this Shaker is gonna get hit by a Sunstrike. The coordination, the chase. This is a beautifully played game in my opinion on both sides. High action pack. 19 to 15 in favor of DK. You can see now after those tower pushes, one on top, one on mid, and one on bottom, and more importantly, protecting their mid and bottom tower. You see that DK has stretched ahead in terms of the gold lead, about a 5,000 gold lead. Meanwhile, on the experience lead, you can see it's slowly dipping down as well. DK still taking those, 3v4 engagement, 3v2 engagement, 5v4 engagements, where the experience is not going to be too much in their favor, but hey, they're mostly winning the fight, and you can see that the kill chart is pulling a little bit further apart, and because of so, the experience chart is getting slightly even. Again, let's check out how we're doing in terms of items. Oblivion Staff number 2 is going to be finished. Man, this guy's just really rushing for it. No boots, no teleport scroll, just straight rush. Now, you might be thinking, why do you actually get TP on Nature's Prophet? I mean, doesn't he has a built-in TP? Yes, he does. But a teleport scroll on Nature's Prophet makes you a lot more mobile. So you could, TP to defend mid and then TP to chase or set up a gank. Or sometimes in the middle team fight, you're very low HP, you can't escape. You use your teleport scroll to get home. And then you use your teleport skill to go right back in a team fight. It's basically like a free fountain healing during the middle team fight. That's what TP does for you. But he's skipping all of that. Big team fight's gonna break out here. Purge, Blink, Clap. They're gonna focus on Shaker. Look at how quickly he's gonna be brought down. BKB gets popped here on the Queen of Pain. I'll talk about it in just a bit after the end of team fight. Seems like Puck in big trouble. She blinks out so far, but the Queen of Pain will blink. They will see you, and the Clap, he's gonna get brought down. Oh, he's phasing for it right now, but just delaying the inevitable. Well done here by ROTK and his team. No Panda Ultimate was used. Heck, the Panda Ultimate wasn't even online. And DK slowly grasping a firm control of this game. Despite the fact that Queen of Pain died, 3 or 4 times in the laning stage, picked up a very, very early BKB. And BKB, in this case, going to be very important. There's literally, 4, 5 silence on the enemy side. And guess what silence doesn't go through? Well, it doesn't go through magical immunity. If you silence her, she will just pop that BKB and then she becomes a mobile beast that she is. So, I mean, it's cute that you're rushing all the Orchids, but when BKB's finished before the Orchids finish, looks like Orchid is gonna be going on. Ooh, no. Blink Echo here, or initiate with the Echo. Zippo so very low, the cold snap into the Meteor. Panda gets off his ultimate, he's chasing on the Shaker. Shaker gets brought down right now. The hero of choice is gonna be who? It's gonna be who? No, everybody out of position. No, Labatt's gonna get Cyclone. He's gonna get brought down. Boulder Bash, bring him down. There's gonna be a Ghost Walk. Where's the Boulder Bash? No Boulder Bash just yet. Blink here from the Pug. 4-man Dream Core. Vengeful Spirit goes down here. BKB gets popped here on ROTK again a second time. Labatt very, very low. Trying to do enough damage, but it's not enough. You can see so important for ROTK to be alive right now. Sprout for a little bit of sight, and Clinkz gets one hit. Unfortunately, he traces life. Meanwhile, burning very low in terms of HP. The right click with the Panda. Oh no, he's dodging those right click. Drunken Brawler not only does it give you crit, it gives you evasion as well. Super does he have his Ghost Walk. He has Deafening Blast and Ice Wall. Is he going to be dropping? He's trying to juke. He's going to force up, and he's going to pour it out. Well played here from Yuru. Great control, not panicking. Generally, when you're getting chased like that by 3 heroes as Invoker, you think to myself, man, I got so many options. Which spell do I use? Which spell do I use? And generally, that's when I actually miss Invoke. Like, if I want Ghost Walk, I have Invoke Tornado or something instead. But super, super calm, super cool. 4 staff on the other side of the cliff. Safe TP out. Well done here. Again, these team fights are very, very close, but with the incremental advantage that DK is picking up, it was, I think, 14 to 19 right now, and then it's 18 to 24. DK just slowly pulling ahead. Again, that's the versatility I feel like coming from DK's lineup. They had the defensive hero or offensive in both the Shadow Demon and the Vengeful Spirit. These guys burst damage so very quickly, and they're very hard to kill as well. Of course, we talked about the 4 staff. He's going to be going for Black King Bar as well. They're picking up the necessary mobility items. That's going to be the second drums on the team. They had one on the Panda. Panda already used all of his charges. Going to be going for it. Panda's going for Black King Bar as well. Hey, I mean, guess what? For every silence you have, we're going to have a BKB just ready for it. And now that the Radiant team has spent so much gold and farm just for those silence items, it's not going to do them any good That's the scary part. It's not going to do them any good. And it's going to be a rough mid-game for Mith.Trust, as they just don't have any sure way of initiation. Clinkz is trying to pick off some heroes. Ooh, it's going to see the courier. That's going to be a free courier. There you go. Yep, plus 175 for the entire team. It's a slow farming stage in the game so far here. Let's check out how we're doing in terms of item. Yep, the double orchid is already online. Vanguard for tanking purposes. Blade Dagger on TNK. It's been serving him very well. He's going to be going for a 4-sap, I might imagine. Or maybe a Yule Scepter. Yule Scepter's not too bad here either. But the difference in terms of item just simply too much. BKB number 1 on RTK, number 2 and 3 will be finished soon. Of course, they already have the core items. Drums, Blink, Drums, 4-staff. So mobile. Lone DD and Zippo, I mean, despite the support they have some items. Arcane Boots, Urn of Shadows. And this is, after dying a couple of times in these team fights, still buying wards. Kudos to these support players, despite dying a couple of times, still having necessary. Look at that, 1 and 5, 10 assists though. Let's see, 4 and 5, 7 assists. Again, so clutch for their team. Meanwhile, on the other side here, we have, going to be a 4-staff here on Pug. Just having as much mobility as possible. The 4-staff is going to be pretty key now. Obviously, she could definitely use it for herself, and she'll be fine. But I think mostly it's going to be used to help her teammates as well. Guess what? Demonic Purge against Nightstalker, I talked about that before. Can't really run, right? Even though he's generally so fast, if you're purged up, you're not going to be able to run. And that's what 4-staff comes in. It pushes you out of harm's way. It ultimately makes your teammate and yourself a lot tankier, and that's very important. You can see Nightstalker is going to be going for Black King Bar as well. This game is going to be full of Black King Bars. Looks like we have a little bit of initiation. TNK pops off the silence. She does have a BKB though, so she should be fine to BKB against Pop. Blink Clap, and ultimate gets used here. Oh no, the Screen Paint, did he actually hit the Nightstalker? I think he did, but he's so tanky right now. Can we have enough support? You can see he's cycling him for the full duration. ROTK, gotta be careful. We have the 2-second Boulder Bash, Sunstrike, Magic Missile. They do bring him down. Queen of Pain's gonna blink back out. Unfortunately, Shaker, he was greedy. He wanted the Queen of Pain kill. Oh, Blink, nice Blink up forward. He might get up Sun, but he's gonna get the clap off. Where's the clap? Where's the clap? There's a clap here. And with that slow dash should be enough to get Zatsa. Gonna let him TP out. Huge crit here from Burning, man. Whenever Burning needs those crits, he gets those crits. Very, very lucky. 300 go away from that BKB. How's Invoker doing? Invoker is 700 go away from that. No, excuse me. 1,000 go away from that BKB. So most of the Dire Squad is doing relatively well. They sense the fact that they do have the lead right now. They don't have the wards necessary up for a Roshan engagement, but there's 3 heroes being dead. Now, and there's early get-go the game, 3 heroes dead doesn't mean too much because they could teleport here, and make a big dash down to the Roshan's pit. So, you gotta be careful, and that's exactly what we see here from Mith.Trust. Mith.Trust gotta suspect that they're Roshaning, right? As to say that there's a gem being picked up on Zippo. I really love this choice. They can't get initiated off though. Dreamcore on 2. Zippo can't lose this gem. Zippo self-destruct. Magic Missile. TNK gonna be in big trouble. He does phase. He's got the blink. He's got the 4-staff. Unfortunately, Burning's got the big damage and a crit. And now with the Pug dead, I really don't think Mith.Trust could gate crash this. Or I don't think they should try because they really can't take a 4v5. And now the Aegis Immortal probably is going to get picked up by the Invoker. Or maybe he's going to be on the Queen of Pain. Perhaps Panda's going to pick it up. No, Queen of Pain's going to pick it up. Despite having the BKB, I mean, she's only got 1400 HP. Of course, these guys are overall a little bit tankier. Uh-oh. Centaur gets dropped down. I thought for a moment there that Shaker was on the enemy team. On the Dire Squad, and I saw him drop the Centaur. I was like, oh, Clinkz, you gotta get out, But I forgot he's actually on Mith.Trust. We see that LK Lakelis is going to be going for a mid-thrower hammer. He is going to be going for a Black King Bar as well. Man, we're going to have so many Black King Bars. Nightstalker is going to get one. Clinkz is going to get one. And the reason that Clinkz is going to get the Black King Bars, look at how many disabled there is. Panda's got 2. I mean, if you count Drunken Haze, that can be a third disable, at least against physical DPS heroes like Clinkz. Vengeful Spirit's got 2. Shadow Demon's got like 1.5 with the Purge and Disruption. We have Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain's got a slow, which doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean jack squat right now. She's gonna get hit Hex eventually. She's working towards one right now. And then Invoker's got about 1 billion. So Invoker unfortunately got a little bit too out of position, and then he's gonna have to use his first 10-second BKB charge for a TP out. Not gonna be the most important thing, but that's gonna make his next BKB use a little bit weaker. DK right now setting up some smokings, I imagine. Oh, earlier I was talking about this gem usage. Ooh, he's actually gonna pass it to Burning, which makes a little bit of sense. Burning a lot more difficult to kill, considering that he does have BKB, he has ultimate form, whatever else. Yeah, the reason that gem is really good here, obviously there's an invisible hero in the form of Clinkz, so you could really easily pick him off. But we also see a lot of Chinese team, especially DK, when they feel like they are ahead right now, they will get a gem and just de-ward the hell out of you. And it's really difficult to come back if you're really low. As we see a blink clap here, unfortunately, silence goes on. He's going to be absolutely fine. Where's the BKB? He's going to use the BKB and then his ultimate immediately. Not too sure whether that's a good choice, but they melt the Shaker. They see the, Prophet's going to get sent up. He's going to get stunned. He's going to get slow. That's 2 easy kills. And then a swap here for... Ooh, Puck phasing the blink. Very nicely done. But the follow-up here by RTK. RTK actually didn't have any mods do anything, but that's fine. That's fine. Meanwhile, Clinkz just roaming around, trying to do whatever he can. He's almost got his blacking bar as well. Again, that's... I mean, despite how quickly Burning was using his BKB and then into his ultimate, it's fine. I mean, even though you can right-click fairly decently in magical immune form, your ultimate does way more. Again, it disables 3 heroes, it does damage output up the wazoo, it chases everybody away. That's something the Panda hero by itself cannot do. So, even though he basically quote-unquote wasted the magical immunity, he won the team fight, and it's really off the back of that powerful primal split. Top lane here looks like we have a little bit of solo kill attempt by ROTK. ROTK had the blacking bar on cooldown and just got sniped. Ooh, that's a little bit rough. Now, of course, she did have the Aegis Immortal, but I'm pretty sure she'll like to use it for a little bit of engagement. Oh, ROTK. ROTK. Uh-oh. BKB. There you go. It's going to be fine. I'm going to turn around for a little bit of fight. And this is what I mean. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are you serious? What? Was it on cooldown or something? I have no idea what's going on there. Blink initiation from the Puck. Not going to do too much. Yeah, that's what I meant here. You know, your Prophet, you teleport in, and it's like, oh wait, actually not going to do anything. Let me just teleport out immediately before I get killed too. So, even though you have a TP, you can still get a TP scroll on Prophet and be even more mobile. There's one thing about Dota. There's a lot of I really hate rules about Dota. Like, you know, oh, you should always max your spell by 7. You know, that kind of rule. Like, it feels like there's always exception to the rule. You should always get a BKB on a Shadow Fiend. There's always exception to a rule. But this rule has no exception, and it's not even really a rule. It's just there's never such thing as too much mobility. Never such thing as too much mobility. So, with that in mind, you know, don't be afraid to get extra TP on Prophet just for the sake of mobility. That's fine. Never too much. Never too much. I'm gonna take a little bit of time to rest my voice. As usually I'm casting duel. Today flying solo. Man, I just forgot how difficult it is to cast solo. My voice is just kind of dead. Of course, being you know, early in the morning definitely did not help out. In any case, yeah, both teams trying to farm up here. I feel like DK's being a little bit more defensive than they feel like. And knowing DK, I feel like they're just waiting for the next Roshan. It's going to be back in about 5 minutes. Of course, they're going to look for smoke gangs and pick off wherever they can. But they're just simply too afraid. Too many things could go wrong. You never know where the Clinkz might be. They have the jam Drunken Haste for a little bit slow. But Skeleton Walk just give you 44%. Is it 44? Yeah, 44% MS. And it's just so fast. And you see that despite the slow that Drunken Haste provides you, he just outran that one. But anyways, yeah, DK, I mean, they gotta stick as a group of 3 or 4 because there's too many things that could go wrong. Clinkz could backstab you, Nightstalker could come out and turn on nighttime. And you may have BKB, at least on your key heroes, but guess what? Zippo doesn't have BKB, Vengeful Spirit doesn't have BKB, so they could still get picked off. Slow tower push happening on the top lane here. It seems like Mith.Trust not too interested to defend this one, and that's gonna allow the tower to go. It looks like this. Again, we're going to have a little bit of backstab. Unfortunately, though, for him, there's a gem on the Brewmaster, and he cannot forget that. Brewmaster is going to be going for the Axe Scepter to make that Primal split a little bit stronger. 3-man Dream Call, 2-man Silence. Uh-oh, but he gets Hex. Can we bring him down? No, actually, that was a creep that got Hex. A little bit of mistargeting. Vengeful Spirit and Invoker, both very low. Vengeful Spirit's going to go down. Invoker in big trouble as well. Clinkz with a BKB. Going to pick off Zippo. Great return of a team by Panda. Finally uses ultimate, but do they have the DPS? We have a BKB up on the Furion as well. Clinkz gets Cyclone. The puck still, like, I think DK is staying around too damn long. They gotta back off. Cyclone again, a huge miscommunication. ROTK gets silenced. Our BKB's down. Sprout comes in. We're gonna have yet another Orga double silence on ROTK. ROTK is gonna go down for sure. Another silence from the Raining Rift as Hex goes on the Prophet, but overall a huge win. That was a 5-man wipe. The gems on the ground. Nightstalker picks it up. Oh man. This is why you should never count out a game, because, you know, all he needs is one team fight, a full team wipe against a team that's far ahead. Not only do you waste all those BKB charges, not only do you kill them and make them lose gold, not only do you gain gold and experience, you got their gem, you can see that Nightstalker Steve warding, and you're applying pressure to these tier 2s. You gotta keep in mind all this big gold difference, this 5,000-6,000 gold difference. All of it is within these towers. So guess what? If you win a team fight, you will pressure. You will pressure. And that's exactly what Mith.Trust is doing. So you can see that Dota is a very momentum swingy of a game, and losing a team fight like that is really big, you know, backbreaking for DK. DK, of course, adding yet another drum to the inventory. Man, Chinese and the drums, very, very loving it. Zippo, he may have a Ghost Scepter, but Ghost Scepter don't really help you when you're getting Echo Slam. Another pick off, and this is again the beauty of having taking the gem away and dewarding. You see how little sight that the Dire has now, and because so Zippo even got picked off in his own tower range. That's how little sight, he doesn't even see where the enemy's coming in. Meanwhile, on the top lane here, pressure being placed by the Clinkz. That's gonna get the tower destroyed, glyph or not. Winning these team fights so very key. Gonna use a BKB charge for Likel's. So odd. That one last hit, she could definitely have gotten it, considering that he has BKB. But yeah, I think he miscalculated a little bit. But at the very least, that was a tower. I mean, even though it's deny, a tower is a tower. Very, very important. And here we go. We have mid pressuring a little bit as well. So earlier, I felt like the game was heavily in advantage of DK, and this game just suddenly got a lot more even. You can see that if you have a really good puck initiation, like the one we saw, he blinked in, he hexed, he blinked in, he Waning Rift, and he Dream Call a couple people, and here comes a BKB Clinkz, BKB Prophet. They just scared everybody away, and it's hard to run from Nightstalker during nighttime. A really important thing for what Puck also did was he phased immediately after using those spells, as we see engagement happening here. Silence goes on Zippo. Zippo again doesn't have the BKB. Burning pops his BKB. Gets a little bit out DPS. He's going to focus on Likel's. Likel's does have his own BKB, but BKB is not going to get used if you're hexed. A lot of magical immunity from both sides, and that's going to be it. I don't think they get any more chases off. As I say that, I heard a Shadow Strike there. You do want the Shaker. Swap is going to cancel the teleportation. Shaker gets brought down here. And guess what? Roshan's going to be back very, very soon. Having the mobility, having the Dire advantage, and having the fact that it's going to spawn right now, they should be able to bring it down. The question is, do you give it to ROTK again? Not sure. ROTK, after the Hex, my guess is going to be going for the LuminousInverse. So many single target Orchids, single target Fear, single target Sprout. You could block all of this, and of course Hexes started to come out on the enemy side. So that LuminousInverse, generally not one of the better items to get on Queen of Pain, because house, generally you don't need it. BKB is overall better, but this game she's getting both because there's just so many spells on the enemy side. In any case, I want to really go back to that earlier team fight when I talked about the Puck blinked in against 3 or 4, set up a 2-3 man Dream Call, Waning Rift was on the top of 2 or 3. A lot of Pucks, after they get off that great initiate, they would just start right clicking. And I mean, that adds some decent amount of DPS to his team, but he phased immediately, allow his teammates to run in for a little bit more distraction. And that phase was absolutely key because he dodged Hex. That was meant to be for him. Now, Queen of Pain tried to Hex the Puck. Unfortunately, misclick a little bit, Hex the creep instead. But in any case, because Puck survived, the cooldown of his spells is fairly low, that he was able to, let off a second round of Waning Rift, Illusion Orb, and that adds up in terms of damage. So even when you're playing those hardcore initiator, your job is not just to initiate and then die. It's to initiate and then do more damage later on if you survive. So that's exactly what we saw TNK did. Shaker, of course, working on Blink Dagger, although I don't think he's going to ever have a chance to get this Blink Dagger. I might even go for a more traditional build that some E-Home players have done in the past, E-Home back in the 2000 era days, where if you have a really rough game on Shaker, mass bracers, get a Vanguard or something, and try to walk your way in. I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuns coming your way regardless, but I mean, I feel like it's a win-win situation as we see a fake Nightstalker running around. It's a win-win situation in the sense of, at the very least, you're going to drop off a fissure no matter what, right? And that's going to be already quite a bit of AoE disruption. If you run in with a full Bracer Vanguard build, if they want to burst you down, you eat a whole bunch of spells. Like, he's really tanked with a whole bunch of Vanguard and Bracer, like most heroes would be. And, I mean, sure, you're going to die, and perhaps you're not even going to drop off the best Echo in your life. You're still going to get drop off an A Echo, because the casting animation is so short. And also, you're going to soak up a lot of damage. So, now, it's not, the most finesse play compared to the Blink Dagger Shaker, but, you make yourself a little bit more effective for your team. And right now, he's not that effective, but he's trying to go for it. He's going for the Blink, and obviously, Blink is very strong for those, huge lockdown, great initiation, that kind of thing. But I'm not too sure what he could get off. Do they have a gem? Looks like they don't. Oh, they do! They do! You could never really think you're safe there against a Chinese team like that who love to pick up gem. Shaker, again, the lack of tank gets brought down immediately. Swap here against Labat. He might have BKB, but there's going to be a Purge. Purge was used. Purge still on cooldown. Purge was used in the team fight here, but the stun, the chase, disruption, disable, too strong. DK picks off 3 off the back of a little bit of a mis-scouting here by Clinkz. Looks like we have someone teleporting back to defend the tower. It was Queen of Pain, but there's more than enough DPS to bring down the Roshan. Force Spirit deals quite a bit of DPS. There's a Ventral Aura, there's a Wave of Terror, and that's going to be enough to bring it down. Now, earlier, remember what I said about the... this is what we don't see quite often. I want to talk about this. Okay, a couple things about this Ventral Spirit. First, remember what I said earlier about the multi-nature of the support of the Chinese squad? They got Disruption and the Ventral Swap for both offensive and defensive uses. Secondly, I really love the fact they put the Aegis on the Ventral Spirit. A lot of players believe that supports are just throwaway heroes in team fights. And I really dislike that way of thinking. He really isn't a throwaway hero, as we see Invisibility scouting him out. Uh-oh, teleportation, Blink, Hex, Waning Rift. Let's see how big of a nuke. If you allow him to pop the BKB, you can still right-click him down, and will he go into Ghost Walk? No Ghost Walk here. BKB gets popped out. He's trying to TP home, and that's what a TP score allows you to do. Yes, they do snipe it, and of course Puck should be fine. Has the phase shift, has the phase, has the really... Look at the ninja. Look at the ninja. He didn't prop in. He's behind. Disruption. Purge. Uh-oh. 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 He blinks out. It's gonna be really close. It's gonna be close. But they see him right now. TNK still be fine. The Juke Master. Dun. Can't touch this. Freaking MC Hammer time. Alright, anyways, Ventral Spirit with the Aegis Immortal. Why do you give us support? Aren't support throwaway heroes? After they drop their nukes, stuns, and whatever else, can't they just die? No. Ventral Spirit's stun cooldown was so short in a team fight, you get off at least 2 Magic Missile. At least 2 Magic Missile every single fight. That's a lot of stun time. Also, you gotta keep in mind, she's constantly giving her team 36% increase in damage. That's a percentage increase. No other support gave you that kind of intense AoE DPS support. That's crazy. Terror's not bad, Swap's not bad. You gotta keep in mind he also kind of throws her way in there in the fray and swap it off. And I mean, Panda, Queen of Pain, and Invoker, they're the carry and they probably want the Aegis, but they're already rounding out in terms of the inventory slots. They are overall more survival because they have the blocking bar, and just makes Venge overall a little bit more useful in the team fight. She's not just a one-hit wonder with the swap. She could swap, provide the aura, stun again, terror, that kind of thing. She does so much for your team if she could stay around to do so. Unfortunately, generally she don't get to stay around to do so. Another gank comes in right now against Super. Super gets Force Staff out, but still gets picked off. A little bit misplay early on. He popped the BKB within the Sprout. And because your BKB's on, you cannot Force Staff yourself. You cannot target yourself with it because you're magically immune. So what he tried to do there is Force Staff himself out first, and then use the BKB. But unfortunately, that wasn't enough either. So the DPS output is simply too strong. As we do see, the Shaker gets picked off again. He's, again, having a rough time going to his Blink Dagger. But right now, I think Mith.Trust is doing the correct thing. They cannot fight DK, 5v5 heads on. They just don't have enough items. DK's just doing too much damage. They have too much survivability. But guess what? You don't need to fight them heads on. One of the best way to deal with this situation, if you're not, stronger or as strong as the enemy team, is to do those kind of guerrilla tactics. You have extremely mobile heroes, global mobility heroes, like the Prophet, like the Nightstalker, as we do see, Purge off. He gets trying to get a silence. Can he get TP? Saw the bench coming. It's like, no way I'm gonna get the TP off. Swap out here, unfortunately. He's gonna just run out the other way. Meanwhile, Clinkz, is he gonna be okay? Dream Call on 2. Do you have the Ghost Scepter? Gets popped. Zippo's absolutely fine. Pops yet another Ghost Scepter. TNK, BKB running out very soon. He is gonna get brought down very, very nicely baited. The swap wasn't the best of the swap being used here, but it should be, and of course, Nightstalker lived through that. Of course, the Prophet trying to TP out, but it wasn't enough. And looks like with those 2 kills, that is going to mean mid-racks. Of course, DK is going to try to force it at the very least. Anyways, I was talking about earlier, if you have the global heroes and you have really dangerous disables like Hexes and the Orchids, and of course you have Puck to follow up with even more Hexes and more Orchids and Silences, you could pick off a hero, BKB or not. All you got to do is chains on him. And we see 2 ganks in a row against the Invoker. Very interesting choice for DK to not push, considering that 2 heroes was dead. Perhaps a little bit dangerous to push up the hill against a Shaker, because a Dream Call on top of the hill, especially when he walks in with the Echo Slam, really, really rough. And then they're giving a lot of opportunity on this Shaker to get some farm back in. It's really close. Just about 400 gold for that Hex. And again, excuse me, not Hex, for the Blink. And once he gets to the Blink, game might get a little bit dangerous. DK pushed the bot lane instead. Interesting choice. That means that Clinkz is going to be back in 20. Prophet's going to be back in 30. Swap offensively, immediate Hex, and that Puck had no chance. And of course, initiation, Blink Clap, initiation against. Sunstrike, is it going to get the kill? Yes, it would. Great Sunstrike, still at late stage game. Still Blink Hex against Labad. Labad's going to get hazed up. He's got the Black King bar. I don't think DK should chase even further yet. They should go back for the Raxus like they're doing right now and just focus this down. Clinkz is back, Liv is used, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Urn still being used in late stage game, keeping those Urn charges extremely low. They still have 3 Jerome charges. One of them gets popped here for more attack speed increase. Melee Rack's going to get destroyed. Range Rack's going to get destroyed. And the main question is, do you back off right now or do you keep going? I think you back off, but as I say that, no. Burning says we keep going. We have the lead right now. Puck dead for 40 seconds. Shaker dead for 20 seconds. We have a lot of DPS. Burning's tank. He does have the BKB on cooldown for a couple of seconds, but he's got the ultimate. He used it right now. The Hex goes on Labat. We have Swap. We have Suns. Labat generally very tanky with the Vanguard. Not going to be enough there as he gets brought down. 6-second cyclone against a Prophet. It's going to be really close with a Mith.Trust could defend this, but I don't think they can. Too much damage, too much stun. Swap goes on against Labat. He gets focused down. TP out within BKB. Not going to be enough. DK is going to up at second lane of melee racks. Very strong playing. That's a Shaker teleporting for his biggest echo in his life. Unfortunately, he chickened out and canceled the TP. And that's going to be it for the range racks as well. DK says, alright, you're not going to GG out. We'll force it. We're going to get the Megas on you. 4 heroes set. Puck finally dead. But again, the big swap range. Swap into immediate Hex. So key for the DK's initiation right now. Of course, the fact that Ventral Spirit is staying alive, everybody getting plus damage of their life right now. Even the Force Spirit benefiting it. Urn is just going on and on. Nature's Prophet buys back right now, but that's Mega Creeps off one push. DK is going to go back and just wait for the GG, and there you have it. GG gets called by Mith.Trust. Dominating performance by DK. They had a little bit of hiccup. In some these team fights, Mith.Trust have set it up very nicely, but overall, it wasn't enough. I felt like the turning point of the game was fairly even until the Clinkz was roaming around using his invisibility to check it out, and I can't blame him. They won a team fight. They got the enemy gem. I mean, generally, you don't think the enemy would just immediately come back alive and rebuy another gem, but exactly that's what DK did, right? They rebought another gem, and then they just caught Clinkz. They caught the Shaker. I think the Shaker, or was it the Nightstalker, and they caught the Puck, and then they just got the Roche, and of course, Vench got the Roche, and they never looked back. Very, very strong and dominating performance. Clean victory for DK. Again, a little bit of mistake here and there, but overall, very strong coordination. The thing that DK impressed me about the most is those Sunstrike was always hitting. It's not difficult to hit Sunstrike overall, but it's just impressive to see it not miss a single time in this game. I think it missed like one time. So, very well played overall. Congratulations to DK, even though they left first. So their Ancient got destroyed. But your final score is 45-28. The victory is at DK, although, again, it says Radiant Victory. But there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. I'm Luminous from domination.com. If you guys enjoy what you hear, check me out on YouTube. Check me out on domination.com. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Luminous. signing off. See you guys.